What's going on, guys? It's Brandon, or teslaflex, and today we are here with my 2024 Model 3 Performance Refresh. And in this video, I'll be giving my review on the Model 3 after owning it for just over 3 months. So let's get into this video. So let's quickly run through the specs of this Model 3 Performance. This is the 2024 Model 3 Performance with the stealth gray paint and the white interior. This is basically the base performance that you can get. It has the free paint that qualify for the tax credit. I don't know if you're watching this at a different time, if Tesla has different color options that qualify. It really depends, but this is what I could get that would qualify for the tax credit. Now, if you're wondering why this paint looks a little bit different, that's because it has a stealth paint protection film from Dry Protected. Really changes the look, makes it look really good, but more on that later in this video. But let's do a quick exterior walk around and overview, kind of show you guys what's great about it, what I like about it, what I don't like. And yeah, let's just get into this video. I'm excited. So starting off with the front bumper, this is the refreshed Model 3, which means it's a complete departure from the exterior on the legacy Model 3 that I'm now calling it. This has a different front bumper than the long range. Actually, it has a more aggressive front bumper, and as you can see, it has these slits right here for better airflow, and then a front splitter, which looks really good as well. And brand new headlights that are, honestly, they kind of remind me of a Roadster. And I'm sure the Model Y will get that same thing too. And then, of course, if we go back this way, we have the 20-inch warp wheels. Now, I took the aero inserts out of here, and one thing to note about these warp wheels is that if you do take the covers out, you gotta look closely. There are some scratches on here. So there is a right and wrong way. You can see right here, that's a pretty bad scratch right on the edge of the wheel. There's right and wrong way. My friend Colton at Out of Spec Detailing actually made a video about how to correctly move them without scratching the wheels. So go check that video out, go check his channel out. Coming to the side, we have, regular Model 3 stuff. Great looking wrap right here. But if you come to the back, we actually have a new spoiler. So this is a little bit different than the last generation. It has kind of a dip right here instead of a flat, curved spoiler. I also have my own aftermarket Tesla lettering right here. It's usually chrome in the regular Model 3, but I took that off and I wanted to do this instead. Then we also have some brand new taillights. These are one piece. Now, one thing about the legacy Model 3 that just had a lot of issues was water getting in the taillight, causing much condensation and just, a bunch of issues. So I haven't had any issues with these taillights. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that. And of course, this little badge right here indicates that it's performance. People were kind of confused. Is it ludicrous? Is it insane? What does it mean? I don't even know. I'm just gonna call it a ludicrous, insane performance badge. That's what it is to me. And we also have a new rear diffuser as well. And these are actually gonna light up when I open that, because as you see, these go up all the way. So this is actually gonna stay there if these are open. It's just a safety thing. But yeah, the performance does have a slightly different rear diffuser than the long range, but overall it's pretty much the same, and just different front and rear bumper. And coming to this side, exact same. I have tinted my windows on this, 15% on the sides and back, and then 70% on the front. All right, so we're gonna show off the cargo space real quick. I just wanna show one more thing about the Model 3, which requires an iPhone 11 or newer. If you stand right here, it will flash 3 times and beep. This is the auto trunk, the hands-free trunk. It's really nice. And inside here, we have plenty of cargo space. I have some floor mats in here as well. And then you also have a hidden deep trunk storage with all of my junk that was in the Model 3. But plenty of space in the back. If you need more space, get a Model Y, because I prefer a smaller car. It's just easier to get around and park. And here in the front, I can actually open the front trunk with my door handle, thanks to Enhance Auto and their buttons. And right here, we have a pretty good amount of storage space in the front, decent amount of trunk space. And then if you look closely, you can see that they now put the little wiper fluid reservoir right up front instead of over here. Some people spilled a lot of wiper fluid when they were pouring it in, but maybe I still spill a little bit. It's pretty easy to pour. It just, they're making it easier for the regular consumer. Before we get any further, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, Dry Protected. Now, as I said earlier in this video, this is a stealth paint protection film from Dry Protected. It's actually a DIY paint protection film, which means you can do it from the comfort of your own garage. And if you're like, I don't know how to do that, what the heck? They actually give you an entire training course on installing the paint protection film from the comfort of your own garage. And if you happen to mess up a piece like the hood, they will actually ship you out a new one at no cost except to cover the shipping. And of course, it's really easy to do. I had a great time doing it, and I plan on doing it with every Tesla I get in the future. It's just really nice to give you peace of mind. You don't have to worry about your paint being messed up or getting rock chips. because the paint protection film takes care of that, and the stealth one actually changes the look of the car. Now, if you want to check this out, you can go in the description below, and don't forget to use code teslaflex to save 5% on your order on the Dry Protected kit. Let me know if you have any questions about Dry Protected or my paint protection film in the comments below. But guys, thank you again for Dry Protected for sponsoring this video. Let's get on and go into the interior. Now, getting into the interior, the first thing you'll notice is the sport bucket seats. And one thing I love about them is that they kind of go up to my legs. They give me a lot of support, makes it a lot easier for sportier driving, and honestly just more comfortable overall. I do kind of notice that the Legacy Model 3, even my Model Y seats are a little bit cushier, but they don't really feel supportive on the sides. So it's kind of a small trade-off, but these seats are also ventilated. So if you look right here, bunch of holes. These front seats are cooled and heated. The back seats, unfortunately, are only heated, but they're also ventilated to kind of match the design. And you also can see right here, we have this ambient lighting all across the front and the sides and the back seat. I think it looks really good. It's not like a huge thing, but it increases the premium feel in the Model 3, something that it's needed for such a long time. So we also have a brand new steering wheel. This is a stockless design. It uses the buttons for the turn signals, and then, you know, everything's a button on here. Horn still in the center, a little bit quiet because it's not actually a horn anymore, it's a speaker. But if I buckle my seatbelt right here, you can see it says fasten seatbelt, and this is how you shift gears. So it's really easy. Fasten seatbelt, and then press your foot on the brake. And then you can just press this to go into drive. So it's very easy. Some people don't like it. I like it a lot. I had it in my Model S and Model X, and you know, it feels pretty familiar in here. And the Model S and X actually have a different version of auto shift where it can do just more than out of park. So this can only auto shift out of park. It automatically knows which way to shift based on how you park the car. But in the Model S and Model X, it will actually allow you to kind of turn the wheel and hold your foot on the brake to shift in a certain direction. It's pretty cool. It will eventually come down to the Model 3, so I'm excited to see that. And of course, if you are ready to go into park, you just unbuckle your seatbelt and it goes into park for you. So in my opinion, I'd say, I guess it's kind of a trade-off because you have your seatbelt buckled to go into drive most of the time, because you can't, I mean, you can kind of do this to shift, but you know, it gets kind of mad at you if you have Tesla insurance. But if you are just kind of hoping for the easiest experience with the Model 3, you just buckle your seatbelt, put your foot on the brake and accelerator. Sometimes it might, like probably 1% of the time, it will have the wrong direction on the screen. That's really easy. You can just use the screen right here. Really not a big deal. It's pretty easy to use. And then if for some reason the screen goes black, doesn't work, you can actually press these buttons right here. Just pretty much does the same stuff, but it's just up here. You'll probably never ever use these. It's very unlikely. And hazards, of course, are here too. My little gripe with this is that one day I was like kind of adjusting the mirror, and my knuckle hit this, and it was flashing on the highway for a few minutes. I didn't even notice because I had music playing. I didn't hear it and didn't hear the clicks. So always be careful about that, unless you're me. I just was probably stupid about it. Rear view mirror, pretty good, about the same as the Legacy Model 3. I do really like the cooled seats. I find myself driving this car to the gym and around town a lot more than my Model Y, mainly because this is just a nice daily car. Like if you're looking for the best daily Tesla, this is probably the one. Like, you know, it's got Model S power, but Model 3 price. And they brought a lot of the features in the Model S down to the Model 3. Like we have this dual wireless charging pad. I think this is 15 watts of output. We also have a USB-C port right here in the center console that can output 65 watts of power. And then unfortunately, we have nothing else in here. This, you know, some storage area in here with our 12-volt cigarette lighter outlet that I left open somehow. And then we have some accessories in here to kind of make this easier. Cup holders right here. To tap the key card, it's no longer over here like the Model 3 and Model Y. It's right here on the wireless charging pad, just like the Model S, X, and Cybertruck. If you haven't been able to tell, there's kind of a trend with what Tesla's doing, simplifying their parts, making it a lot easier to streamline their products. So all the new ones have a little card reader right there. Yeah, so we also have a brand new dashboard right here. This is a carbon fiber dash piece right here. It's exclusive to the Model 3 Performance. It looks really good. It's actually all one piece now. So if you have the old Model 3 or you've seen one, it has that big dash piece, and then it has another piece, another piece, another piece. And you know, it's a little bit complex. And this is one thing that Tesla is trying to do with their future Model 3 and Model Y, is make it a lot cheaper to build, but also not compromising on quality. Speaking of build quality or just quality, the interior quality on the Model 3 has increased massively. I mean, it's the tiniest little details. Like you can barely see this in the video, but if you go into your local showroom or test drive one, just feel the headliner and compare it to a Model Y or a Legacy Model 3. It is actually a lot softer now. It has a little bit of cushiness. It's pretty similar to like what the Model 3 used to be 4 or 5 years ago before they switched to the cheap stuff. But now we're back on the slightly more premium headliner. And then also we have soft touch leather. So this is a white interior exclusive thing. If you get the black interior, it's going to be the Alcantara micro suede material. But on the door panels, you can actually feel over here, or even right here, there is not a single piece of plastic trim that's like bigger than maybe a few inches. I think there's a piece, this is plastic up here, that's plastic, But the door panels, they're all a soft touch kind of vegan leather, just like the seats. Even the sides right here, all kind of a soft touch. So it's just a lot of improved material quality that I prefer over the Model Y. The Model Y is like a very useful car, but the Model 3 is, you know, it has all the technology. It has hardware 4, it has a more responsive screen, it has all this stuff. And, you know, speaking of the screen, we have all these settings right here. We have actually something that I didn't know about until a day after I got the car. I knew when it launched, I just forgot what it was. This is essentially a adaptive damping. So what it does is it will actually read the frequency of the road, and there's sensors on every wheel, and then it can kind of adapt to how that works and give you a smoother ride or a sportier ride depending on which setting you use. And then of course we have the regular charging screen, autopilot screen, and this one has a full self-driving subscription. I have gotten one strikeout, don't want to talk about that. And we have the light settings, and right here you can actually change the color of the light strip, so it's pretty cool. One thing I want to see Tesla do besides the brightness, they've actually added a little brightness slider, and I don't know if some of you remember in my Model 3 review from last year when I first reviewed it, I was saying that there needs to be some kind of slider in here, because initially when you would turn the brightness on the lights, you have to use the screen, or like you would open this up and lights would get super bright, and then you would close it and it would just go dim. So I like that they added this, but I would also like to see maybe just a toggle somewhere on this display, because it's something I touch a lot, and I like to change my colors, and I don't want to have to constantly go to the light screen and click like 4 different things, so I could just click one thing if it was on the main screen. We also have a couple more display settings, so this is on all Teslas. It's just pretty basic stuff. You might notice there is a rear display too, but we'll get into that when we get into the back seats. Same trips tab, navigation, it's all pretty much the same. I'm also on software, let's see, version 27.25, full self-driving version 12.5.4. You can also connect to Wi-Fi around here, connect your Bluetooth devices, and even upgrade stuff from the car, like subscribing to full self-driving or premium connectivity. So it's a pretty good deal. Another thing that I noticed immediately with this car compared to my previous Model 3 is the door thud. And I mean, it's such a minor thing, but it's also something that Tesla has struggled with for such a long time, especially early Model 3s, because it just sounded so bad. It was like, I mean, it was like a little bit rattly, it just didn't feel solid, but this, it's very solid, and you know, you don't have to do much force. I mean, even my second Model 3 had some issues where if I didn't pull it hard enough, it would just kind of like get stuck. But I could pull it very softly, and it, you know, closes the door all the way. So they've done a pretty good job with improving the doors and just the way the car is built, making it feel a lot more premium, but also cutting costs on their end to kind of make it, you know, a little bit more profitable, so they can kind of pass the savings on to the consumer. Now here in the back seat, we have some pretty comfortable seats. This is my seat in easy entry, and as you can see, I got a decent amount of leg room, and I'm 6 foot tall. My head is only touching the little sunshade I have on right here, but if I were just to push it up, it's pretty good headroom. If you're a little bit taller, you might struggle a bit more, but you can also just sit up a little bit further. We have a rear display back here, which is really nice. One thing about it is you can actually move this around to control the airflow, and if you want to have just a little bit easier, you can press that and that. It just kind of gives you some presets, that way you don't have to, you know, fiddle with it too much. We also have the ability to turn on the rear heated seats right here. The middle seat is unfortunately not heated anymore, but that's not heated in the Cybertruck either, so it seems like they just don't want to put it there anymore. You can also press right here to turn all the seat heaters off, and this is something that's in the Model S, X, and Cybertruck. Like I said, you see a trend. You can move the front passenger seat up by pressing this. Now, you can't do this while someone is in the seat and the car is driving. Kyle and I tried that immediately last year when we were in Europe with the early Highland Model 3. Not possible, but it's really nice if you're in the back seat and want to move this around. Makes it a lot easier for the back passengers. You can also control music on here. You can watch TV, Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, Twitch, and tutorials, and even Disney Plus if you do the secret thing to get it back in there. The nice part about this is you can actually do this while the car is in motion, so there's really no worry about, you know, like having it turn off, because if you have it on the main screen, you go into drive, it just closes. But on here, it actually will stay, and you have video games. So this is something that Tesla promised in the Model S and Model X refresh 3 years ago, and they didn't add it till December last year. So took some time, but we finally have it, and now it's in the Model 3 too. You can also change the settings in here, and what I think is really cool, you can add Bluetooth headphones back here. So if you have little kids and you're wanting to maybe listen to your music but have a TV show on for them or something on in the back, you can pair their headphones, more than one set as well. You can pair them to have it go right into the screen only. That way they can watch their entertainment, you can listen to your music if you're on a road trip, and you know, there's really no conflict. So it's great. This rear display is definitely useful for smaller families or families of anyone. And for me, I don't really use the rear display. I mostly sit in the front, so there's really no reason. But it's still cool that Tesla is making all of its technology available on even the Model 3, because this was once a Model S and X exclusive, and now it's going to be on every Tesla model. So this wouldn't be a Model 3 performance review without actually driving the car. I can't drive this car like crazy. I'm going to be on public roads, but I just want to drive around, get my experience, just what I think, some things I deal with driving this car, any issues I have, things I don't like about it. There's very little things I don't like about it, so it's okay. So to go into drive, all I have to do is press my foot on the brake and then press my foot on the accelerator, and I can just, boom, I'm in drive. I can do whatever I need to do. I can also make this full screen if I have full self-driving or autopilot. So we can just go out of this parking lot right here, and I can press the right turn signal with the steering wheel. And you might notice, like, this car is extremely quiet. I mean, I usually play music, so it sounds even better, but this is overall a lot quieter than the legacy Model 3, even the Model Y. And I mean, I can't get over how much better it feels. It feels like this is the car that Tesla should have delivered in 2017, but even the Model S and Model X from that time were not that great. So, constant improvement is the way Tesla does things, and this is the result of 7 years of continuous improvement on the Model 3. So it's really great to see, and I'm happy with it. So I can't find any issues with driving it. It's been a really fun car to drive. All right, here we go, turning right. And we can just hit this a little bit. It's got some power. So this is a 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. And it's fast. One thing I like about this is that this is like the most fun Tesla you can buy at the most affordable price. I mean, this starts at, I think, $55,000 before the tax credit. After the point of sale tax credit, that brings it down to 48. Obviously, taxes taken into account first. But then if you live in Colorado, you actually get an additional $5,000 off the car. So they have a lot of incentives to get these cars. Some people don't qualify for them. I think there's income caps, and you can look that up on your own. They're pretty much everywhere. But overall, I mean, this is really fun car to drive around, really responsive. I can even feel the difference just if I go into the dynamics and I switch to sport. I can almost immediately feel the difference how the car drives on the road. I mean, those bumps, like every little bit you feel in sport mode, and then you throw back on standard, and it just all goes away. It gets so smooth. And this is honestly a feature that I think the Model Y should get across the board, not just the performance, because truly it is something that makes the driving experience so much smoother. I also want to quickly show you how full self-driving works on this Model 3. It's super easy. All you need to do is press on the right scroll wheel, and it will actually take me to the navigator, to the destination I put in, which means I need to be turning right. Okay. And it looks like it was going to wait for that car, but it's making the turn now. And this is actually hands-free. You can wear sunglasses, you can have sunglasses off. Pretty good deal. So it's going to stop here at the stop sign. And one thing I noticed is that this, I mean, it does the full NIST to stop. It has to go all the way to 0 and then it can go. But, it's really not that big of a deal because the car is driving you. So it's like you can be patient for it. But it's really great. You can actually pretty much have it take you from point A to point B a lot of times without having to intervene. There are some small circumstances you have to take over. If it does something wrong, you of course just want to disable it, and it pops up with this, and it'll actually say autopilot disengaged, what happened. You can leave a short little message for the autopilot. I don't know who listens to this or how they get this data, but they do somehow, and it does help with kind of figuring out what's wrong, how can they fix it. I've sent in so many of these things. Sometimes on the old full self-driving versions, it was almost like every time I would do it, it would just get progressively meaner in the replies. But lately, like, I barely have to actually disengage full self-driving. So it has improved a lot. I'm sure it will continue to improve in the future. I'm sure maybe some of you are watching this one, it's unsupervised, who knows? So it's also pretty crazy how much the car can actually see. There's a biker right there. The car actually does move to the side a little bit for the biker, but it shows them on the screen. It shows street parked cars. It shows this red light up here. And it even shows this crosswalk area that if there was someone walking here, it would stop for them. So yeah, we're gonna be turning right up here. And yeah, so we can see the red light. I'll actually turn that off. And you can see all the cars coming by. When you do come to an intersection, it will actually really kind of zoom out so we can get a better view. It's gonna pull forward a little bit. And of course, we just switched to night mode automatically. So that's nice. That's another thing in there is you can switch between day and night on Tesla, but it shows a lot of the detail. There's even detail they're not even showing on here. So this is actually not supposed to go, but it went. I don't actually know if it's supposed to go. I think it was definitely possible. It was a red light with a green arrow, and it was like right as it happened. I don't know if that's illegal. I probably should look back at my like driver's ed stuff, but you know, very good job for what it does. It can take turns. It's gotten a lot smoother. There's some turns that around where I live that it used to have a lot of issues, but now it's really it's gotten a lot smoother. It's gotten a lot better. So honestly, like, I can't wait to see how far Tesla goes, what they do with the robo-taxi. All of this is just going to be amazing to see in the future. So we're just going to turn back into here. I'll let it turn for us. And it does a pretty good job. Like, it goes slower around bumps and speed bumps and everything. They've really improved it. It doesn't use any code. This wants to go to the front, so I'm going to disable it right there. But I can just pull back in here. And another feature or part of full self-driving that we have is called auto park. So let me turn that signal off. This gives you plenty of options. So unlike the legacy version of auto park that you basically just had to pull up really close to a spot and then, you know, click it and how to recognize it, you can basically choose any spot. So I can actually go and choose this spot over here, and then I can just take my hands off the wheel and it will put me in position. So it knows these parking spots are empty. If they were full, it would find a different way to do it. But right now it's lining me up to actually park the car. So it's gonna do that. And now it shows a big arrow right there to go in reverse. It even shows the way that the wheels will be turning. So this was in the Cybertruck first, but now it's in all Teslas on this version. So it'll pull right into the parking spot, maybe a little bit off, but actually it looks like it's correcting itself right now. And it takes, I'd say, sometimes up to a minute to do auto park. So obviously you could probably park your car faster, but this is just part of their whole stack. And I guess while we're here, we can hop out and do something else that is pretty new to Teslas. So we can hop out and do something called Actually Smart Summon. So let's hop out and do that real quick. All right, so we are over here in the parking lot. My Model 3 is over there. All I have to do is go into the Tesla app right here, click on Summon. Then it will connect to the car. It takes maybe 10 seconds to do so, not too bad. You can choose between the option to come to me or even a target where you kind of just drag this wherever. I will just do come to me, hold this down. And if you look at the car, it's already flashing. And it looks like we're taking a right. And there we go. I also noticed it doesn't cut across parking spots. So the old version of Summon or Smart Summon used to do that. It would just be, but right here, if you look on the screen actually, it shows you the path it's gonna take. So it's going around the curve right now. Here it comes. And side note, if you wanna stop it, just let go. And you can just click, come to me again, and it will finish it off. So if something is in the way or you're worried, you can always let go. Right now it does have to be a continuous press, but it will pull right up to here, and then it will stop, and then it actually throws on the hazards. So if you look at the back, it throws the hazards on when you're done summoning if you're a little bit too far away. But as soon as you get in, you can just, you know, hop in the car and be on your way. So this combined with auto park is gonna be a great thing. Imagine you pull up to the front of a store, get out of the car, and then you just click banish, and then it goes and drives into the parking lot, parks the car, you're done shopping. All you gotta do is click come to me, and it will come out of this parking spot back to you. So all of these little features that Tesla is adding to the cars right now, they will be kind of merged together to make it a really cool self-driving thing. But you know, that's all for the self-driving section on this video. So now let's move on quickly to the range, efficiency, and charging. So the range on this Model 3 Performance is around 303 miles of EPA estimated range. Of course, that's gonna be a little bit less if you take out the aero inserts in the wheels, but that's kind of on you, it's your decision. Or you can of course get smaller wheels that will get you more efficiency. My overall efficiency, I have driven pretty much only 100 miles on the with the aero covers on. So my efficiency since then in 3,500 miles is around 286 watt-hours a mile. And I charge the Model 3 up to about 80% as much as I can. I don't really charge it every single night, but it's like probably once or twice a week I'll charge it, and that usually gets me by. I don't have a home charger. I rely on fast charging and public charging, but it's really not that much of an issue for me. I have plenty of fast chargers around me. And if I do go on a road trip, I can of course charge it to 100%. But overall, I've got to say I'm pretty impressed with the range and efficiency on this. Of course, if I had the little aero covers, I'd be getting way better efficiency, but I got the Performance. That is not my main priority. I want the comfort, the speed, and the technology. The range is one thing. If you want the longest range Model 3, get the long range rear wheel drive, which also qualifies for the tax credit and is now the cheapest Model 3 available after they discontinued the LFP, but who knows, maybe they brought it back in a different way by the time you're watching this video. So now a question that I've been asked a few times is, would I buy this car again? And it's a pretty big question because on all 8 of my Teslas, there's probably half of them that I wouldn't buy again. I wouldn't buy the Model S again. I wouldn't buy the Model 3 standard range again. But this one, I would buy it again. I would buy it at $10,000 more. It is honestly such a great car. You get so much performance for the price you pay. There's really nothing out there that can beat it. Like, this beats BMW M4. It's pretty insane. And it's electric. It's a lot cheaper to drive, a lot cheaper to maintain. There's really nothing, there's no downsides with this. I mean, maybe the downsides are bigger wheels that have worse efficiency, but you can of course change the wheels. You can get smaller wheels, you can get a different trim, but I would buy the performance again. There is one thing I would change, however, and that would be Quicksilver paint. I got this in June. They did not have Quicksilver paint available. And then of course, 2 months later, they announced the Quicksilver paint and I was too late for that. I missed out on some of the good deals they had for financing, but overall, that doesn't change how I feel about the car. I got a good price for it. It goes 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. And honestly, this is a car, if I could only have one Tesla for the next 5 years, this would be the one. Before we wrap this video up, I want to thank Drive Protected one more time for sponsoring this video. If you're buying a Tesla and you want to protect your Tesla's paint for the life of the car, check them out in the description. They make clear paint protection films, even full frontals if you just need that. And of course, they also have the stealth paint protection film, which is my favorite. And the best part about it is that you can do this from the comfort of your own garage. So if you're interested in this, make sure to check them out in the description below. And don't forget to use code teslaflex to save 5% on your order. And as usual, guys, if you are buying a Tesla, make sure to use my referral down in the description below to save $1,000 on your new Tesla. All right, guys, that's gonna be all for this video. Thank you everyone for watching. And if you have any questions about the Model 3 performance or Drive Protected, let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.